story that's gaining national attention. A Christian entertainment app offering Bible-based games for children known as TruePlay is reporting Google and TikTok of censoring its advertising since 2023. Now, TruePlay claims their ads, which they described as safe Bible games for kids, were frequently rejected, despite modifying language and removing terms like Christian or Bible. Joining us to discuss this and so much more is Mr. Brent Dusing, CEO and founder of TruePlay, and yet again, the world's leading faith-based video gaming platform for children. Sir, it is an honor to have you in studio.
Thank you, Guy. Good to be with you.
I believe the last time you joined us, it was via Zoom.
That's
right.
It's
nice to have you in person. You are quite the busy man, my friend, apparently here in Washington, D.C. to discuss all things surrounding the reporting that, well, really, Google and TikTok censoring TruePlay. Do tell.
Yeah, it's really terrible. You know, we run a faith-based platform for kids, you know, encouraging them with messages of hope and positivity and optimism. And Google and TikTok won't let us advertise at all. In fact, TikTok won't even let us post on social media because they say, in fact, I have an email from TikTok saying your content is dangerous and harmful. And look, we're not criticizing anybody. We're just out delivering uplifting and positive messages. So they block us. Meanwhile, they're allowing Roblox, which runs ads with satanic imagery, pentagrams drawn in blood, blood all over the floor, transgender content for kids, Buddhist ads to run. So they allow religious ads to run, Google and TikTok, but they won't allow Christian ads to run. Yeah, that's true.
And so I guess the immediate question is, why? What gives?
I think that the people who make decisions at those platforms, they program AI. You know, the issue is AI, right? It's their AI systems that are reading Christianity as dangerous, that are reading satanic and transgender for kids as positive. It's that I think that they hate Christianity, and I think in a lot of ways they hate children. They're pushing hyper-violent content on children, things around, you know, mutilation for children, really dark messages. I think they have an agenda. It's pretty clear.
Obviously, regulatory action, perhaps somewhere in the near future. Will it get underway? The question is, we don't know. And is Congress looking at this? And if they are looking at it, what should they be looking at?
Great question. There's a lot of discussions about this. So the main thing, you know, if you're watching today, and, you know, Guy, it's not just us. About 25 to 35% of Christian groups that I talk to are affected. I mean, churches, Christian nonprofits, pastors, Christian influencers being blocked from advertising, being shadow banned from posting. We've all had this issue by big tech platforms. And there has to be legislation, number one, to protect the Christian worldview. Number two, that AI can't have a leftist, communist, atheist worldview, because we're going to wind up in a situation where what happened to Russia 100 years ago was a Christian nation. The Soviets, you know, small group of people took over, destroyed the church, massacred tens of millions of people. I mean, look, even Elon Musk and Dario Amodei, who run big AI companies, have said there's a 25% chance AI will kill humanity. If we don't, as human beings right now, and if Congress doesn't act to put in legislation to protect humanity, to protect the values our country has, 250th anniversary this year, right?
Sure.
2 months coming up. If we don't put in guardrails to protect our humanity, there won't be an America left.
I got to tell you, I am truly perplexed. I had no idea that we were dealing with something like this. What's been the response from folks that you've had the opportunity to really bring awareness to thus far?
You know, people are taking it seriously. I think that what's been happening, unfortunately, is too many people in the Senate and in Congress are viewing this as just a race against China, AI. And it is. The problem is they don't realize the very companies they're funding, Google, you know, ChatGPT, TikTok, are the ones perpetuating this problem, are the ones that have this real threat to destroy humanity.
So I guess the question is, what happens now? And when I say that, AI, it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. That's right.
So how do you combat that?
Well, it's no different than cars, right? When cars began, you just drove your car. My great-grandmother died in a car wreck in the 1930s where she was probably going about 40 miles an hour because there were no seatbelts, no airbags, right?
Got it.
Asbestos, hey, great way to insulate buildings. Problem is it causes cancer. My point is we just have to have regulations and guardrails. I'm not interested in making us be defeated by China or anything like that. What I am interested in, though, is protecting the very civilization that we all enjoy and are protected by. So the answer is guardrails to protect, you know, the Christian faith and some type of framework, a constitution for AI, so that it has a set of values that reflect our own civilization.
Yeah. Obviously, something that lawmakers really need to grab the bull by the horns, if you will, to make sure that they address. But I want to reflect and/or focus on parents as well, because they too play a major role with what their children are exposed to. Do they not?
100%. Look, every parent that I talk to, every parent in America listening, whether you're a Christian or you're not, your number one issue is screen time, right? With your kid. Who's my kid talking to? What are they buying? What are they seeing? Are there ads that I don't want them to be exposed to? Are there conversations they're too young to have right now about sexuality and violence and things like that? So the answer is, sure, parents need to be aware. There's platforms like Roblox where there are children who are still being preyed upon, being abducted, and all those things. But parents also have to be concerned about, well, what messages are my kids learning? Education comes from everywhere, not just when you're in school from 8 to 3, but when you're on a screen, what stories are you being told, right? What are you taking on as values? What are the things that are important to you in your heart? And those are the things that parents need to be focused on. That's why at True Play, we make games about positivity and courage and hope and the reality that God really loves them.
Obviously, yet again, you were here in the nation's capital. I would assume lobbying on Capitol Hill, hoping to bring more awareness to your cause. It's just hard for me to fathom that someone would stand up against this. I mean, we're talking about true Christian values, what America was founded on, and to think that someone would combat that, I'm just not understanding.
It's weird. I'll tell you an interesting story. One of the biggest humanitarian crises we had, of course, was slavery in America in the 1800s. Okay, it was William Wilberforce and a lot of people from the Christian church who led the fight against that. Right? Lincoln famously became a stronger Christian during his time in office because I think of all the evil coming against him. Here's where I'm going with this. You know who the biggest opponents to slavery were in the 1800s?
Who?
Secular atheists who wanted to run a business and not be criticized and told what to do. Because there were all these businesses, right, that were profiting from slavery. And so when Wilberforce, the leader in England, was a Christian, said, God says it's wrong, they said, shut up, you shouldn't talk about your Christian values. It has no place in business. It's secular atheists who run Google, who run TikTok, who run ChatGPT. They're the ones who are profiting.
Got it.
And so they're pushing this destructive worldview because that's what they think and it benefits them. And they have no concern at all for the average person and their children.
Got about a minute left, and we'll end with this, and that is, we know what you're doing. You're doing your part. But what can we do? Those that want to support and are watching right now.
I appreciate that. Yeah, a few things. One, you can go to True Play. You can follow us. You can get involved. There's a lot of other Christian groups involved in this movement, too. Billy Graham Association, the ACLJ. You can lobby your congressman and your senator. But the biggest thing you could do is reach out to us at True Play, get involved and help out, be part of the movement.
Good stuff. Brent, always good to see you, sir.
Great
Thank
to
you
see
so
you,
much for
Guy.
coming in
Thank
studio.
you.
Appreciate you sharing that message. All right, folks, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.